All right, Tim Sykes here. Crazy, 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 crazy few days. Mainly because of DCTH. This is the penny stock of the moment, whatever you want to call it. This is just a 5-day chart, and you can see it's up from 5 cents all the way up to 35 cents. Let the world hate on penny stocks. Could have made 7 times your money on this in just a few days. It is total junk. It will eventually trade at 0, and yet the momentum is strong with this one. The force is with it. I was buying it somewhere in here. Where was it? Somewhere in here, around 8.5 cents, 8.8 cents to be exact. I've been traveling. I'm making this video kind of in a rush because I just got back from my latest charity event. I met so many amazing kids and teachers. I'll post photos and videos soon, but I gotta talk about these stocks because this trend is happening right now, and it's amazing. I sold DCTH way, way, way too early. So did several of my top students. I think Tim Gritani made $7,000. I made like 700 bucks. So we didn't hold it all the way, but I bring this up because A, it's okay to sell too soon. Don't like blame yourself. You know, Tim Gritani has made nearly $5 million. And I think he sold this at 11 cents and it went to 35 cents. So he could have made, I think he had like 500,000 shares. So I'm guessing he could have made over 100,000. We make mistakes, okay? He still made 7,000. He still captured some of it, but it's okay because this is not a normal move. The beautiful thing though is I have documented this kind of a move in countless DVDs, like my How to Make Millions DVD, Penny Stocking Part 2, Spikeability, and specifically my Penny Stocking Framework DVD, which I'm working on a sequel. I'm trying to keep up with the market. I'm trying to do charity. I'm traveling, and I'm trying to refine these patterns for you so that when you see them, you can really capitalize. So congrats to everybody who didn't necessarily just profit on DCTH. I think my entire chat room sold this like, at 10, 15 cents a share before it went to the 20s or the 30s. I was actually trying to dip buy it yesterday on the plane at 18 cents. I alerted it in the chat room. I said, watch this for potential dip buy after this crash, but it bounced too quickly. I didn't have great Wi-Fi. Several students in my chat room nailed it though, from 18, even on the bounce here. Like, this is what's so cool about these volatile plays. Even though it crashed from 30 cents down to 18 cents, I mean, this is a pretty scary 40% drop. It still bounced, and it doubled over this bounce. So there are bounces. There are, I think, overextended stocks. I think this is overextended now. And most importantly, this creates new plays because DCTH is such a junker. If you look at, the overall chart, it's very different. You can see it is absolute junk. And most people on Wall Street, most of your friends and your family will say this is why penny stocks are junk. And yet you could have made 7 times your money. And I had several students who didn't necessarily make 7 times their money, but they made 2 or 3 or even 4 or 5 times their money in just a few days. So hate on it, call it junk. I don't care, okay? There is money to be made on these junkers. And I'll explain in a second. First of all, I got to congratulate a lot of you on WKHS. I was buying it last week in the 360s, or actually 380s. I alerted it in the 360s, but I was really buying in the 380s. I sold a little too soon in the 420s. Now it's 460. I would not chase it, but congrats. And a lot of you, on this one red day, some people were like, oh, Tim's pattern stopped working. You have to think about this on different time frames. First of all, patterns don't just stop working. Sometimes they don't work, but I was on the right track, and I made a little over $5,000, so it wasn't that bad to sell too soon, but it keeps going, so I underestimated it. It's okay. I'm glad I showed it to you in the threes. I'm glad I explained every detail so that you understand it. DCTH, I also bought it, and I also underestimated it, but I made money on it, and I learned from it. If you can make money and learn on these trades, that's win-win. If you only learn and you make no money, that's still a win. If you only make money and you learn nothing, well, that gets into danger territory because a lot of you guys profit on these plays and you don't have rules. So while you might profit this time, you start learning bad habits, and that's going to cause you much grief later on in your career, even if you don't realize it. I know it looks all easy when you make money, but trust me, there are good ways, good odds patterns to make money on, and there's bad ways to make money. And I would greatly prefer you to make money the right way so that you develop good habits early on in your career. Don't just hold a stock like DCTH. I get some messages from some people who are like, oh, I've been holding DCTH for months and now it's coming back. You're late. Well, probably 95% of these stocks go to zero. So if you're holding this on a low odds pattern, even though you made money this time, you're learning bad habits. When I'm buying the breakout, and I made a whole video lesson why I bought the breakout at 0.088 the other day, right before my trip, then you understand good habits. Buying breakouts, good. Holding and hoping, bad. Even when sometimes holding and hoping pays off, that does not necessarily mean that that is a good strategy for you to learn. And it's actually very dangerous, because just because DCTH came back in a bear market or on a different stock, you hold and hope, 9 times out of 10, you will lose money. So don't get too comfortable on these low odds patterns. And that's why I want you to study all my video lessons so you understand the difference between a high odds pattern and a low odds pattern. Know all, I got to congratulate students like this guy. Where was it? Roland Wolf. So Roland, I don't know if you know Roland. Here's Roland. I featured him the other day, 10 lessons from a student who just passed 100,000 in profits. He verifies all his trades. He actually alerted the chat room. So I was doing my charity. I got back at around 3:20 Eastern today. Thank God. I would have been really pissed if I missed this new trend. But Roland alerted it. It hit his scan and news feed, and he got 170,000 of this latest stock at 3.8 cents. And this latest stock, first of all, we have several stocks running. DCTH was the big runner. Now AMDA is running. ITKG is running, and MARA is running. When you have one big runner, that usually breeds other sympathy plays. And DCTH, frankly, is probably going to return, is probably going to drop 20-30% tomorrow. Not to say that it's definitely going to drop, but most likely it's closer to the end than the beginning. That means that all the money in DCTH is going to have to go into new plays. What new plays shall those people go into? Well, AMDA, nice spike here. This is a junker too, so it fits the same pattern. You can see here it's done nothing. But at the same time, I don't want to chase AMDA because it has massive resistance here at 38 cents. So while it might keep spiking, if this pattern holds and if DCTH drops, this is not, a 26% gain. That's good for a normal stock. That is not necessarily the best play right now. MARA was up 104%. This is a junker, right? If you look at this, junk is running right now. I know it's tough for value investors to conceive. They're like, well, this is, with their monocle and their fucking caviar, maybe not value investors with caviar, more like value investors are like shopping at, I don't know, Costco, and they're like, well, it's a good value. They don't have monocles. That's just, I'm thinking of like the Monopoly man. I'm thinking of some narrow-minded, annoying, introverted freak. And that's what I think of value investors. No offense to you value investors, but they cannot understand why a stock like this would ever be bought. They think that penny stock people like me are just insane. I have many people who tell me I'm insane. Okay, I'm insane. But what I do fucking works more times than not. So perhaps my insanity is actually a little reality. So maybe I'll sprinkle a little insanity on you. Leave a comment if you want, and if you get the lesson that I'm trying to pass down here, and leave some words that say, Tim, you are insane, because I'm trading the most hated stocks. I'm buying stocks with the worst long-term charts ever. These companies are all fundamentally worthless. Everyone in finance thinks that I'm insane for even touching these, let alone trying to get other people trading these patterns. And yet I've made several $1 million, and now so too have several of my top students. And now upcoming students like Roland, he's seeing the patterns. I wanted to bring this up because Roland saw the news on ITKG, and he tried to alert the challenge chat room when it hit the news feed at 3 cents. He actually alerted Tim Alerts. I have 2 chat rooms, Tim Alerts and Tim Challenge. So Roland usually is in the challenge chat room. Tim Grattani's in the challenge chat room. Mark Crook is in the challenge chat room. All my top students are in the challenge chat room. But he accidentally alerted the Tim Alerts feed too. So congrats to those of you guys in the Tim Alerts chat room. But Roland is my student who just passed $100,000. And I asked him what he got ITKG on. He got $170,000 at 3.8 cents a share. Ignore that it didn't close at 0.0427. This is a late print. This is a typo that freaks a lot of people out. It closed closer to 9 cents. And Roland got in, the news was right here. This is why you need stocks to trade, first of all. I'm so sick of people being like, I didn't see the news or the data is not good, because no other platform is geared towards low price stocks like stocks to trade is. That's why we created it, so freaking use it. If you want to save money on these free platforms, understand it's going to cost you far more in the long run. You save $50 here, you $100 here, 150, and you miss out on thousands and tens of thousands. Roland saw the news here. He apparently alerted the chat room. I don't even know. I alerted the chat room. I bought this stock mainly because I've been trading this stock for years. And this is kind of cool. Roland, okay, let me just show you him again. He just passed 100,000 in profits. He's at 127,000. I guess he bought this stock at what? 0.038. 170,000 shares, and it closed at like 0.09. So let's just do some math. Let's see how much Roland is up. He's up 5 cents a share on 170,000 shares. And all these stocks are very liquid. It's kind of beautiful. You can buy 170,000 shares. Roland is up $9,000 on ITKG so far. Pretty freaking awesome. And this is a typical junker. If you look at the long-term chart, straight down. But today's volume, over 12 million, is because they had news. Okay, this is not just any news. I've been trading this stock. You can see here, I've made roughly 20 grand on this stock over the years. But if you go back and look at what I was doing with ITKG a few years ago, back in 2013, I mean, we're talking like 7 or 5 years. So I was buying it back in 2013. They had a LQMT-like play. LQMT spiked big when they had an SEC filing announcing a deal with Apple, which still has yet to pan out all the way from 2013. So these deals with these small companies and these, quote, revolutionary materials take years, if not decades. I was buying this back in 2013 because they had, some significant positive developments. And, I was buying on the rumor, selling on the news. I sold into the morning spike the next morning. I lost some here. I tried to buy on a dip, didn't work. Here I made some. I was excited with the news. They had a deal with multi-billion-dollar company Hanwha. This was back in 2013. Here was, again, back in 2013, deals announced with multi-billion-dollar companies Delphi and Hanwha. So ITKG has been announcing big deals for a while. Delphi is Delphi Automotive. ITKG makes kind of like this new age plastic. They worked with, the Fisher Karma electric cars. So theoretically, their new age plastic could cut down the costs on cars, especially electric cars. So that was the hope back in 2013. And I show you this because I want you to see that I have experience with this stock. And if you stick around long enough, you'll have experience with stocks, and that'll give you an advantage. And I'll get to exactly why I have an advantage. So I'm still trading this in 2013. I'm taking profits. CEO, this is 2014. CEO said in a presentation late last week, which message boards are hyping possible Tesla deal. All I know is this company has deals with 2 multi-billion-dollar companies, and I was looking for the January effect back then. So again, I'm still trying to buy it. They have their deal with Hanwha. People are speculating Tesla. Here we go. This is still 2014. They presented to a small group in Detroit late last week. So Detroit is the home of auto companies. So the whole question is, can this company get their new age plastic in cars? Because they were in the Karma Fisher Electric Car, whatever the hell it was called. And that company went out of business. That was not a well-run electric car company, probably ahead of its time. But this company I've been watching for years. There's been Seeking Alpha stories. Here's a new article. They're expecting a big announcement in 3 weeks. I mean, this was 2015. It never happened. Outside chance the deal is with rumored Tesla, but don't count on that. I always take profits because this company has let me down so much. Here they had a big-time PR teasing their first big order. Again, I've been let down so much. They had their biggest commercial order in 2015, but I've been let down again and again. My latest play was in 2015, and I said I sold the rest of my position for a small gain. I had some small gains and some small losses, and I have zero confidence given their last earnings conference call. So I gave it time in 2013, 2014, 2015. In my last trade, I was like, I'm done with it. I don't believe a word they say. Now today, they come out with a European electric car maker. So now this isn't Tesla, but they did say that they've been engaged with a North American automotive tier 1 for the past year and bringing this application to market. Now the electric SUV is expected to make a European debut. So this is very interesting. And I totally have lost track of this company. I don't even give it, the time of day anymore. Here you go. You see it close at 9 cents. Let's see. I haven't even seen their recent news. Bipolar battery. So they're doing batteries and this. All I know about is that this says that they have been engaged with a tier 1 automotive for the past year. So this tells me maybe tier 1 automotive, electric, Tesla. I don't know, again, but I think that this is the best press release yet, teasing it. Obviously, I've been waiting for years. And now they have a European debut in late 2017. So, I just don't know what to think, but I don't really care because this all goes back to the fact that these kinds of plays are running. AMDA, I mean, look at this run into the close. And remember, I just got back from my charity work today. I come back, I'm like, oh, what's happening? I see this trend clear as day. A lot of people say, Tim, why don't you just spend more time teaching? Stop traveling, stop doing all this charity work. We appreciate it, it's good, but focus on your work. By traveling and doing what I love, it actually makes me choosier. And I knew the second I saw ITKG. I didn't see, Roland Wolf, his alert at 0.038. I saw the ITKG news. I saw this press release. I read about it. And now I'm going back to my years of experience, knowing that Tesla was rumored, whether it's Tesla or some other electric car company. This has been half a decade in the making. This company actually has news. And it's kind of cool that, AMDA is spiking, MARA, again, these low price stocks with 12 million. I mean, this traded like 15 million shares, and it's going from 15 cents to 30 cents on no news. So ITKG going from, 3 cents. When the news came out, let me just show you a chart. When the news came out, it had already spiked. Here's where the news comes out. And again, this is why you need stocks to trade. It was already spiking here in the 4s. And I was trying to buy it in here. Interactive Brokers had problems executing this trade, so I actually had to buy with E-Trade. I actually had to be on the phone with E-Trade. I wish I had a camera crew filming this because this is ridiculous. Because I've been traveling so much, E-Trade put my account on restriction. So I tried buying 250,000 shares because, this thing traded 12 million shares. It's easy to get in and out. But I could not get all executed. It was just spiking too fast. Once it was breaking the day high, it's fitting the pattern. All these different chat rooms, all these different social media, all these different traders start talking about, AMDA, MARA, and ITKG all being the next DCTH. Now, none of the sympathy plays are going to be as good as DCTH. 5 cents to 30 cents. But at least with ITKG, I know this news is meaningful. And I know that this could have legs. So I had no problem buying this stock in the 4s. I would not chase it in the 6s, 7s, 8s, and especially not in the 9s. And then when it came down, I was like, well, maybe this 5s or 6s isn't that bad because I didn't even think that it would get to 9 cents. But long story short, this is the hottest pattern right now. Different patterns, different sectors go in and out of popularity. Low price junk with huge volume is what's hot. And it's all because of DCTH. I mean, DCTH, I don't know if you guys see the volume. I mean, this is madness. It traded 700 million shares yesterday. Even today on its, technically red day, because it opened, higher than where it closed. So technically it's a red day, but it's still up on the day. Even today, it traded 400 million shares. We haven't seen these big volumes on these low price stocks in a while. AMDA, what's the total volume? 2 million, but this was like all in the last hour. ITKG, I think it got over 12 million. Let's see. Yeah, 12 million shares. And this was all, their press release came out at 1:45. So it was all in like the last 2 hours. I also like buying stocks, that have late day news because, I know that this news is actually kind of meaningful and that the rumors will be spread about Tesla. I have no care in the world whether it's Tesla or, I don't know. I mean, they say it's Electroplast has been engaged with a North American automotive tier 1 for the past year. This high voltage connector, that's what it is. So this is, they basically confirmed that they're working with an automotive tier 1. I don't know what it is, but it says this marks the second Electroplast order for use in an electric vehicle platform so far this year. I'm not even going to speculate, okay? I don't really care, but I do know that this has been many years in the making. And so that made me very comfortable to buy. Normally, you should be scared to buy these junkers. And it is scary. But, people like Roland, he's not scared. He's made over 100,000 now in just a few months, and he's been killing it. And he's, look at this. He's replying to people in the challenge chat room. He says, no complaints here whatsoever. Me to the move, even if it doesn't end up being that. And it's beautiful. That's the key. If you sell it at the top, that's fantastic. If you only take a small portion, that's fantastic. He's showing the scans. This guy says, are you still holding ITKG? Yes, I'm making video lesson right now. The biggest thing that I think that I can share with you in this video, okay, these low price junkers are running. The crazy percentages that scare most people off, they're just not particularly applicable here. DCTH from 5 to 30 cents in 2 days, 3 days. Okay? What can ITKG go up to? I don't know. I'm not going to speculate. I'm not going to hype it up. I'm not going to pump it up. I don't think that you should even chase it at 9 cents. There's massive resistance here at 9 or 10. But at the same time, I recognize that when you have these junkers, ridiculous moves are possible. And that's the beauty of penny stocks. Even if this company totally fails, even if somehow they bungle their every relationship with every electric car maker and whatever, these kinds of crazy moves with big volume should be noted by you. Because this is when, you can make like 50% in an hour. Wait, let me show you. I had a few tweets. I'm sorry, I'm behind on everything. I got to respond to tweets. Sorry, I'm responding. I'm in a rush. I got to get to my next meeting. DAX made 320. Kyle bought it right as I did, and I love that you guys are being self-sufficient. You're spotting this before me. And he bought 5,000 instead of the 50,000. That's fine. Here's Dylan. It's a business. What is it? If it doesn't work, just let it go. No reversing. I agree. Good note cards. And I like featuring some students who are studying. So keep tweeting me. I love this. Here's Roland Wolf. Here's his profits. And this is it. Look at this. Nice, man. I'm actually featuring you in a video lesson right now. You see, this is fun. He didn't even know I was going to make a video lesson. But he says this. Oh, did he take his profits? Oh, he already took his profits. So he took his $5,000 in profits. Okay, so he's not up. What did I say he was going to be up? He was up 9,000. Okay, so this is a good example. He sold a little too soon. He made 5,000. But whether you make 5,000 or 9,000, you take the meat of the move. And he already sold. Fantastic. And he said, nailed this one in chat with Timothy Sykes. Left quite a bit. This is why my challenge chat is so useful, okay? I'm in a whole bunch of different websites where everyone's sharing ideas, and this challenge chat, I think, is the most useful. You have upcoming millionaire students like Roland. You have Tim Grattani. I mean, Tim Grattani was going crazy here. You see the red. This is like Tim Grattani. And he's like giving, just tips all throughout the day. He doesn't have to do this. He's busy trading. He's a self-made millionaire. Now the market is closed. He's off. He lives in the Caribbean now. He's probably off playing with his freaking sea turtles. Literally one time I was talking to him, he's like, sorry, Tim, I got to go. The sea turtles are out. And apparently the sea turtles only come out at a certain time of day. That's a good problem to have in life. Anyways, I'm proud of you, Roland, and I hope that you like this this video. Here's Rachel. Finally had funds available. Got DCTH, made 11%. Thanks for the lessons, Tim. People think I make people up, by the way, on Twitter. I don't make anybody up. These are all real-world people, and I have my conference coming. I should mention this. Hold on. Let me find the page. Here is the page for my upcoming conference. You have 9 days to get on the early bird list if you go to traderandinvestorsummit.com. And you can't even buy tickets yet, but I want you guys to get ready because there's going to be a rush, and we only have a few early bird tickets. So if you go to traderandinvestorsummit.com, you can join the early bird list September 16th through 18th in Orlando, Florida. And you'll meet me, hopefully people like Roland. I think Tim Grattani is coming, Stephen Ducks, Mark Crook, everybody who's really done well. You'll see that these are real people. Unlike some of these fake ass gurus who claim to create successful students, and then you see a testimonial from like Joe R, or you see one screenshot. We show every trade, and we're totally real. You can talk with us. All my top students are really cool guys too. Anyways, I'm going through all the different tweets. Bulls of Wall Street, look at all these realized profits. I like that. He came to my conference 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and he said like that was the start. Look at this. Here's Bulko. He bought MARA, and he 15% profit in 7 minutes. Beautiful. Where else can you get that? I really have to laugh at the people who hate on penny stocks when these things are running like this, and you can short it too. You can make money on the way down. Here's Jason Martin's first trade. Beautiful, made 50 bucks. It's not about necessarily having a huge account at first. It's just trying to take the meat of the move. And these are all tweets that I get in the past, like 30 minutes. This guy's studying. He's a pilot. Pretty sweet. Be careful, though. I want you focused flying the plane. I don't know if you're a pilot or I think that's a pilot thing. Just be careful. I know I have some students who are like truck drivers and they're like studying. I'm like, keep your eyes on the road, damn it. Here's AF Guy 123. Helps you make 50% on ITKG in 20 minutes. Cool. Good job. I got a lot of tweets. Anyways, some people are sending me other stuff. I can't even keep track. Oh, this was a good podcast I did. Here's Sean. What did he make? 698 today. What did you make today? DCTH. Beautiful job. Making 698. Made 55% today. That's pretty freaking awesome. This guy says paper trading is hard at the beginning. Everything is hard at the beginning. It gets easier over time the more you study and get comfortable with these wacky stocks. Volatility. That's what we're doing here. Don't believe in these companies, okay? Don't be like, oh, this is going to be the biggest thing ever. Don't think that this ITKG is going to go over $1 a share. I don't think it's going to do that. My goal is to be selling it anywhere from 10 to 15 cents tomorrow. I don't know how high it can go. If it only goes up to 9 cents, that's fine. If it goes up to 8 cents, if it goes up to 5 cents, I don't care. It's not just about the money you make. It's about the learning and the lessons. So again, if I'm making my point clear, leave a comment underneath this video saying, Tim, you are insane. And I will agree with you, but I will also leave a little addendum to that and say these stocks are insane. So you have to be a little insane to trade these insane stocks. Because if you're insane and the stocks are insane, well, then you're in harmony. You're in symmetry. And that's when you can have really insane profits that value investors will never understand. Wall Street will never understand. Finance will never understand. And it's ideal for small accounts. Do not go looking to buy 1 million or 2 million shares of these stocks. Even if, they are like DCTH and they trade a few 100 million shares in a day, trust me, it's better to just try to take the meat of the move and, try to profit that way. Whether you make 10%, 20%, 50%, 100%, 500%, you learn and you try to do better the next time. For a lot of you, DCTH is your first supernova. And, you've been studying my DVDs, you've been studying the webinars. They don't come around every day. So it's good for you to witness it in person. And mark my words, DCTH from here will be crashing 50, 60, 70% in the next 1, 2, 3 days. So don't just hold and hope. Learn to play the volatility up and down. And if this crashes, AMDA will eventually crash. ITKG will eventually crash. MARA will eventually crash. But you can ride them for the time being. When the volume is huge, when they're uptrending, you try to take the meat of the move. Just like Roland. I really want to point this out. And I had no idea, at first I had no idea that he alerted in chat. And secondly, I had no idea that he sold for $5,000 in profits. But that's pretty sweet. When you put in $6,000 and you come out with $11,000, I would take those profits too. And again, he could have another $4,000 in profits right now, but look at how dedicated he is. Okay? When you make $5,000, you don't look a gift horse in the mouth. It's okay. If you make $5,000, if you make $3,000, if you make $7,000, he's learning. And that is why he is my newest six-figure student. And if you read that guest blog post that he wrote about 10 lessons, you see he has the total right attitude to really make it in this industry. Too many of you guys try to be perfect. You try to catch the exact bottom, the exact top. Perfection is impossible. Obviously, you want to try to make the most, but you are trying to take the meat of the move and you're trying to do the best that you can. And understand sometimes you're going to exit way too soon. Let me just remind you, DCTH, I bought this here on this breakout. I correctly alerted the breakout here above the former high at 0.08. And if you watch that 10-minute video lesson I did the other day, I explained why I was buying this in the 8-cent region. Okay? And I sold in the 9-cent region. So even though the thing quadrupled, more than quadrupled from my buy, I sold it too soon because I'm traveling. And even if I wasn't traveling, I would have sold it at 11 cents. At most, you're going to see me make 20, 30% on a trade. ITKG, already at 9 cents, I've already nearly doubled my money. But at the same time, I've been waiting literally half a decade for this news. And it just so happens that the news came on a day when all these other little plays, similar plays, are running. So, they hit their stride. It's kind of beautiful. If you ever watch a baton pass like in the Olympics and you're trying to catch the runner in stride, this was beautiful. If you have that press release and you put it out, the very day that this whole little sector and this whole pattern is running, that's how you get 12 million shares. And this very well could be the biggest runner tomorrow. And I wouldn't put it past it, given the news, given the trend, and I'm glad to be long from the 4s. But if it doesn't run, if it stops at 9, if it stops at 8, if it gaps down, maybe there's a lot of bag holders from the past that are going to want to sell. That wouldn't surprise me either. So whether I sell tomorrow, and I definitely will sell tomorrow, because I like locking in profits, especially as I'm making this trade while I'm traveling. It's insane of what I'm trying to do here. But whether I sell it at 9, 8, 7, 6, or even 5 cents, or 10, 11, 12, 13, whatever it is, I'll appreciate it because I'm grateful for every play and every dollar I make, and I'll learn. If I sell it too soon, maybe on the next play I'll get a little more aggressive, DCTH, because I sold too soon, that made me a little more aggressive on ITKG. I learned from every trade, and I tried to use every trade to grow my balance. If that makes me insane, then I'm insane!